Welcome to the NC Spin After Spin. Additional comments from our panelists just available on our website. We want to ask, what do you wish you'd have said on last week's show, but you didn't? Joe Mavretic, I'll start with you.
Well, when we talk about improvement in education, there's a statute that requires the State Board of Education, the Board of Community Colleges, and the Board of Governors to meet jointly annually to discuss matters of mutual concern. For the last 20 years, that state law has been ignored. There have been no meetings with all the problems that we have in education. And the Lieutenant Governor is the chairman of the Community College Board, and he's on the State Board of Education. Why in the world, over 4 different governors, all claiming to be educational governors, have we not had an annual joint meeting of the 3 boards? I think it's disgraceful, and I would hope that this Lieutenant Governor pushes that agenda. Interesting.
What do you wish you'd have said on last week's show?
Well, we were talking about the budget debate, and I was making the point that right as for the tail end of that segment, that Speaker Moore has 74 votes, plus Paul Tyne, who's a registered independent but caucuses with the Republicans, which means he ought to be able to pass the budget with 61 votes. But there actually is a significant portion of the House caucus and some members of the Senate who would rather not pass the budget. I think they will, but they're happy to pass continuing resolution after continuing resolution because they believe they're not expanding government any. It's a way to save money. And I think part of the inertia for why this session has lasted so long and why there hasn't been an urgency from some of the members is they're actually happy by not funding new things and new programs and expanding the scope of government.
Interesting. John, what do you wish you'd have said on last week's show?
We were talking about redistricting and the interaction between redistricting reform and the Voting Rights Act. And I want to expound a little bit on the problem here. I think is fundamentally created not by Democrats, not by Republicans in North Carolina, not by African American groups, not by, it's the U.S. Supreme Court's fault because they have failed over the course of several decades to provide any real meaningful guidance about what the Voting Rights Act means.
They'll tell us what they don't like,
They basically say we know
it
when we'll see it. Well, that's just an invitation to constant litigation over and over again. It is funny that they're perfectly happy to intervene in all sorts of matters where the federal judiciary, the Supreme Court, should have no business. They're perfectly happy to tell everybody what to do. But on something that is really their responsibility, interpreting a federal statute to give state legislators real guidance about what to do, they have refused, and they continue to refuse, and they've had contradictory opinions just in the last several years.
Interesting. Rufus, what do you wish you'd have said on last week's show?
I wish I had said that how much the people of the state ought to appreciate their community colleges. Now, everybody says that, and yet, though, they don't seem to get the kind of love and respect that they deserve. I know literally thousands upon thousands of people in my career who have done extremely well in life because they got to go to a community college. We've got to hold down that tuition, and I think they've got to stop. Some of them got to stop trying to act like that they want to be Chapel Hill, Wake Forest, etc. It's still one of the best, as John said, in the whole United States of America, and give thanks.
All right. Well, thanks for watching the After Spin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.